This whole project started as a phone call from Joy Bramble of the Baltimore-Times, and she asked me if, she said she was interested in doing an art initiative, and she wanted if I had any ideas. And I believe in partnership. I've been working with her her paper's been around for 38 years. She's featured me throughout those years, and I've also done some projects for her. So I said, well, why don't we do a project where we take the newspaper and we do a dedication to 100 artists in Baltimore City. She loved the idea. She's at a point now when she first came out with the magazine or the newspaper, that she was servicing a cross-section of people here in Baltimore, competing against the Baltimore Sun, the Afro, and other papers. And now that she's further into her career, she's deciding now she wants to celebrate Black excellence. So her story slants have gone to bringing the attention to Black excellence. So when she asked me about this prospect, I said, well, yeah, that would be a great thing, because right now, nobody's really giving any attention or opportunities to African-American artists. When the diversity and inclusion movement came, everybody felt comfortable talking about race and disenfranchisement, but Black people ended up at the bottom of the whole list, LGBTQ and every other color, and then Black. And so what happens with that also means that art initiatives and art opportunities, they fall to the wayside as well. This became a pet project for me because it gave me a chance to utilize all my skills, my reputation as an artist, to bring attention to some of the artists here in Baltimore City. I had to be conscious of the fact that there are 3 generations of artists coming through right now, and that all 3 groups are not really getting a chance to really get many opportunities, even though the arts has gotten much better. And so that's my initiative. I wanted to do something that was the first time, this is the largest pop-up in this region that's ever done something like this in Baltimore City. It houses about 430 pieces, and it's about 80-something artists. Our goal is to get another 20, but we ran out of space with 12,000 square feet. We took over the Ripley's, believe it or not, that was here for many, many years. And we just converted this whole space into exhibition space, which means we did the internal space, we also did the external space. And so we got a really good reception, great turnout. Artists are really excited about this opportunity because that's what it represents. And then we're also planning to do some educational stuff with artists and some additional programming. We have a lease for 2 years. And so we're going to be promoting this for the next 2 years to anybody that's a creative in Baltimore City. This space right now, we have it advertised until December of '24, but we have a 2-year lease. So we have an option to extend this show. We plan to extend the show as long as MCB Real Estate wants us as a part of this fixture. You know, this whole area is slated for redevelopment in 2 years. And so at first, this pavilion wasn't even being occupied. And now that they see an opportunity to service small companies and give even people like us a shot at doing something like this, it's a wonderful opportunity. So we grasped it, and we created something that nobody's ever seen here in Baltimore City, and I'm really proud of that. And so I'm hoping that artists will continue to get involved in network, and we plan on blowing this out for the next 2 years. Well, my thing with artists is that, you know, when I was at the height of my career between 1985 and 2005, there was a camaraderie of artists because we were all coming through the same time. We were all fast-track learning. We were doing all these different things that we had to learn together. We had to depend on each other. And now, since things have gotten so different, the internet's come around and social networking's come around, we're even more divided and separated than we've ever been, coupled with the fact that there are new generations of artists coming behind us, and they have nowhere to go. They have no information. They don't have the information that I had at my access when I was coming through and learning. And so I feel compelled in my 46th year to give back in that way. I've always mentored, but now I want to try to see if I can galvanize this group of artists to understand the importance of fellowship, so that they can create other opportunities just like this. This would not happen without partnership. Sometimes we're waiting for people to give us a green light to do stuff. Artists wait for shows to open. They got to go through a jury. They get rejected from the jury. And then what happens? And people don't know about that. But as an artist, if you're constantly submitting for stuff and you never get in, it's very, very frustrating. So for me, the hardest part of doing this project was blowing the dust off of some of these artists and saying, hey, look, bring your work in, let's show it. And so from a simplistic standpoint, that's what we're trying to do here. We've had many groups come through here, youth groups come through here, and it's been a very enlightening experience. It's really a sensory overload with the amount of work that's in this space. If you walk the floors of this show and you're not inspired, uplifted, and feel something spiritual, something might be wrong with you. That's all I'm going to say, because it's sensory overload. When I looked at the faces, I've even saw people being very emotional walking through the show. It's been very, very exciting and rewarding, and I'm glad that we embarked on this endeavor and hope to do more like this in the future. Creatively Black Baltimore was the name we gave this project when we were thinking about doing the publication, the Baltimore Times. It's a special edition. But because it morphed and evolved into an actual dimensional show, we're now venturing back into actually doing that paper. So Creatively Black Baltimore was the name we came to kind of coin a phrase for what we were trying to do. There's an unapologetic aspect to that name. So often we work with arts institutions in the area that are afraid to have a African American aspect to anything. Everybody's careful not to overinvest, and sometimes they don't invest at all. Well, this show, we're very unapologetically Black. And I'm sure that we've had all multitudes of people come through the hallways, and they're equally as impressed with the work as anyone else. And then most of them are surprised that we have this talent. And that I just don't get that part yet, but there's another side of me that does.